So the question we have to ask here is Neeb secretly Antonio Banderas?
Because you've never seen them in the same room?
Oh my god, I didn't even consider it, but you're right. I've never seen Neeb in the same room as Antonio Banderas at the same time. Oh my god. One is a Spanish sex bomb and the other's a pasty white kid, but you know, that could just be a disguise. Alright. Spotting on the bottom right side. Spotting on the bottom right side, ladies and gentlemen, we know who this guy is. It is the blue turd, ByuN.
On top left has the yellow Protoss. It is Neeb.
I'm
don't know why,
add some title to you.
Yeah, I don't know why he's on this account. I guess the first, I don't know, but I don't know why maybe that tickled me so much because there's actually a lot of girls out there who just really like like skinny white guys more than they would like Zoro. So that just, I don't know, it tickles me to hear the comparison.
I guess you're right, because we're kind of like in the age of like thinking of the 90s, you know, the way that things grew up with like people like Bond and like Zorro and like other quote unquote like the movie stars, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like
where it's pro gamers, it's boy bands, it's like K-pop stars.
Yeah, well, I don't want to like pin it on anything in particular because I'm sure it's a lot of contributing factors, and it's not even like universal, right? But I do feel like the anime was a big contributor. I think that really had a lot of young, impressionable women just like that type of guy. And then,
if
like,
anime was a contributor to anything, then it would be okay for guys to be hanging around with like 9 different girls who are all totally lusting after them all the time, always.
That's not quite how that contributes to society, but I can see how you would wish that.
And body pillows would be more acceptable.
But yeah, also I'm guessing like the popularity of just Japan and Korea, I guess lately, it's actually probably the contributor too. I'm sure someone is doing sociological studies on this, and they're getting it down pat. I remember I was talking with Alaris, and she was talking about how like she like has a theory that people are more likely to be butt people than they were 40 years ago. And I was like, you're crazy. But I Googled it because I was curious, and legitimately there was a study, and a lot of the reason that there's more butt people in the world is that genes, which were invented like 50 years ago and perfected, I guess, like 40 years ago, were like a huge contributor to why people were like suddenly like, butts, those are pretty good. Life,
I don't know if genes contributing nearly as much as yoga pants, to be honest.
No, because yoga pants are really recent. Jeans, this was literally a trend that started 40, 50 years ago. More men usually saying that they like butts.
I love this idea. 40, 50 years ago, after all the frogs started turning everyone gay, we realized within our own genes and genetic code that butts were better because both men and women had butts.
I mean, it's like really when you think about it, when you think of like 50s, 40s, 30s, you think of like women with bosoms in their dresses, and their dresses never really highlighted their behinds. Guys also weren't really wearing like really tight jeans either.
Yeah, but dog, like I'm with you on this logic train, but at the same time, I can't help but think of like 50 years ago, the first jeans were all like mom jeans, and they were not flattering for the butt. I'll tell you that much. Went
well,
halfway
everyone
up your
thought
waist.
they were. Like now they don't, but everyone thought they were. Like that was fashionable, right? I'm saying this not because it's actually a theory. It was actually something that was studied, and I love that it was studied.
I
also love
that was such a sick juke. Yeah, he knew that one of mine was there, and that was. I thought he was just trying to avoid it. I didn't realize the way he was timing that was so perfect. Oracle gets in on some of the action too, but the drop on the other side of the field, I don't know, has a lot of potential. The Mothership Core almost gets picked off, but the Phoenix is here to maybe poke away at the medevac, so like you know there's not going to be an escape. ByuN can only do micro for so long.
Yeah, the Phoenix alone and in low health probably shouldn't chase. Looks like it won't, but yeah, that was those are typical openers, right? Like faster third base versus the drop of ByuN. It just got a little chaotic with all the micro that was going down.
Look, while this goes on, and we've been talking about many other things, I'm just really upset nobody is photoshopping a picture of Neeb as Zoro right now. So if somebody could please get on that, I'd really appreciate it.
can't imagine what made him use this clan tag, but you know, this is an attack we've seen ByuN kill a lot of the Protosses with, but only after defending so well. This is actually an attack where, you know, there wasn't too big of it's not a counterattack really. Like ByuN moving in here against what is a sizable Protoss army actually just loses everything, and that looks questionable.
Oh, the Oracle even lives through that. That thing's on 14 kills now, by the way. Really critical that it even picked off that Widow Mine that was going to burrow, because the Phoenixes did not pick it up. So going for the attack now, a bit of tug of war, back and forth. I don't think there's a lot Neeb can do. He might be able to just shade through and catch some SCVs, but I think the actual, if he lands the Vikings here, ByuN actually has a pretty solid defense.
He does, but it's like, it is kind of questionable. You know, without that bunker, without that much Marine support, the Vikings are actually going to be picked up by the Phoenixes. He might even be more worthwhile picking the other one up, but does let it drop, and is only going to have this harassment at the front. Looks like he takes some damage back at his third base to like a Widow Mine, so it's equalizing a little bit, but at the end of the day, Neeb is the one with 3 bases, you know, 3 times pro production. He is going to have a better game from here on out.
I'm trying so hard not to troll reading a lot of these responses in chat right now.
Yeah.
Although this one guy, by the way, who said yoga pants are gross, IMO. I'm sorry that apparently your vision doesn't work. You might want to go get that checked out at an eye doctor.
I'm wondering if he's living in like Austin, Texas or something, where like the obesity is just through the roof, and he gets the unfortunate woman wearing like the skin, the
beige colored ones. Yeah.
You just don't understand.
Okay, I can see it. In that case, yoga pants can be maybe a little bit not so flattering, not so sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like we talked about this before. You know, like yoga pants will make a good butt look great, but they'll make a bad butt look worse.
Yeah, I never considered that side of it, right? And I'm not, guys, don't take this out. We're not shaming anybody, right? But it's like, the idea is like, I'm thinking in my mind, oh, these really sexy fit women, they got the gap going and everything. They got the yoga pants. Whereas everyone else is like, this guy, his default is like, really? I see my mom wear those a couple of times. It didn't look so good. Like,
okay. All right.
although,
I'm also imagining a guy that's like,
they're like,
yeah? Yeah? Bring that one up?
well, I was gonna say, if it's Charlottesville and they're in that same predicament, it's like I see my mom wear them a couple times, they're probably like, oh, it looks real good.
I was gonna bring up the kid that's like, I'm confused. Poor guy. So many more important things are happening. ByuN was really late to that stim, so only just not getting any pressure after Neeb is already on a 4th base, or already started his 4th base.
Man, it would suck to be that kid that had the really hot mom, by the way, and not because of your own feelings, but just knowing that's how your friends felt too. Like,
yeah,
your mom's wearing yoga pants, and you're like, guys, I don't want you over at my house today. Sorry.
Yeah, that's happened. Neeb, I almost caught him, Zaro. Neeb is being really aggressive here. Will it work out?
Yeah, he dives in maybe a little bit too hard. One thing ByuN started to do at the very end of that fight that was really sick was kite around his Marauders, but still wasn't quite enough. And Zorro! El Barto, Neeb, he'll take game number 1.
The hero we need. You know, whenever I think of Zaro,
these guys would talk about the game.
Right? I don't think of Antonio Banderas as Zaro. I think of Antonio Banderas Zaro as Puss in Boots. So just kind of.
You know what?
Of
course, it's great because it's the same, right? But in my mind, that's probably where I default to.
Yeah.
I think Puss in Boots was cuter, more charismatic, funnier, like probably more agile, if we're gonna be honest.
Exactly. He didn't get as pretty of a girl though. I think the movie Puss in Boots, he got like a, other feline friend, but I don't know. The movies after Shrek 2 are just all not worth watching.
I love that once in a while it gets brought up though. You'll see it's like, are we really not going to talk about a donkey having sex with a dragon?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Also, I think it's really disturbing. I mean, okay, maybe it's not as disturbing as I think, but the fact that what's her face, the princess, like doesn't mind being human, and like that's what she identifies mostly with most of her life, and doesn't actually mind having some ogre sex as soon as she turns into one. I don't know. I feel like I'd be like a little iffy. Like she jumped on board that pretty quick.
Like you gotta wonder too when it comes down to ogre sex, right? First off, is it like an onion? And secondly, like,
oh god,
you know, do you stay as tight down there? Like, does it get a little more loose, maybe? Like,
that's messed up. That's just too detailed.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, whether Fiona's wearing yoga pants or not, the show still goes on, and spawning here in the top right, he's down 1 game at the moment. It is the Blue Terran ByuN.
In the bottom left has the yellow Protoss. It is Neeb.
I just checked my Twitter and I have 0 photoshops tweeted at me of Neeb as Zoro, guys. I know that if Fear Dragon was awake right now, he'd have my back.
Almost 3,000 viewers, and not one of you are useful. Get on it.
By the way, of course, well, we do have 3,000-ish of your ears available. Of course, we know everybody mutes us for a terrible commentary, so more like 1,000 of you of your ears available. First off, if you haven't already, hit the follow button. It's free. It'll take you a second, and make sure you don't miss any of our StarCraft content. Secondly, though, and more importantly, this is, of course, the semifinals of the Olimoleague. The Olimoleague does not actually have sponsors. It's been run by fans for over, like, 2.5 years now, and in all part due to Patreon. Not all in part, but entirely due to Patreon. So if you guys want to check out some of the cool benefits and rewards over there, it's patreon.com/holymoly. One of the biggest deal ones, though, and this is actually a deal too, you get some of the best Korean replay packs you could possibly find for StarCraft 2 through the Olimoleague only. Some people seem to think we send out the replay packs of the Olimoleague. We have never, ever done that. It is strictly through the Patreon.
Exactly. So get on board if you want these awesome replays.
We do send replays of everything else we cast, however, so there is some benefit to subbing to BaseTradeTV, you know, if you feel like up to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say the best benefit is actually being able to watch the game. You know, since we're not commentating it. We're talking about dragon donkey sex.
Look, I'm giving you 1080 at 60 FPS. What more do you want? Like, I want my commentators not to talk about dragon donkey sex.
Yeah.
Well, too fucking bad, okay?
Yeah, you get what you get. So, it really though, that last game, ByuN was 2 base all in. That's why there was a quick tap out after losing that battle like that. It made sense when the damage took earlier on. ByuN, I mentioned it in that last game. He got a lot of damage against 2 other Protosses with a Cyclone Viking attack, but those were counterattacks. That's when they worked. Was when, you know, he had just defended against a proxy oracle or something like that. Just pushing into a Protoss that only, you know, used 1 adept and 1 oracle to harass, like that just, I don't know if ByuN ever makes that work in other games, but Neeb was totally prepared.
So I'm going to make this my last statement about anything Shrek related. Before that, I'll point out, of course, you know, ByuN doing what he's done in Acolyte every single time today. There's the small amount of people out there who watch Mike Tyson Mysteries, which is probably the greatest show on TV. Just that one song where he's like, "Ain't got no time for bird sex." I'm just thinking of the ogre version.
Well, apparently it had plenty of
That's what
time
I've done.
because third movie is all about the babies. It was gross. It was bad.
Farquaad's still greatest villain of all time.
Yeah. No, the first 2 movies were fantastic. You know, the reason I brought up Shrek in the first place, well, I guess because it was a Puss in Boots, but because I was also thinking of the amazing rendition of I Need a Hero that happens in Shrek 2.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that's like, oh,
Neeb
that is the best.
hero we need. Yeah, it was amazing. They had an awesome
I didn't even realize
voice actor lineup.
Well, I didn't even realize there was like an original version by Bonnie Tyler or whatever. Like because I had never heard that song before Shrek. So it really sucked when I'm like, because this is years back, right? There's like, I go to Google, oh, I need a hero, and it's like, I'm like, what's this horrible version of the song I found? Like, this isn't from the movie.
Horrible.
Not at all realizing it was like the original version.
Yeah. But the Czech version is really good. So, as you said, ByuN's going for the build he usually does in Acolytes. Seems to be like, it's like Cactus Valley. As soon as he chose to do a CC first on Cactus Valley, that's what he was doing for like the next couple months.
So there's this really cool thing on Twitch, by the way, as a broadcaster, where as you do your stream, you can see how many people have made clips of that particular stream. And prior to our Ogre conversation, there was like 15 or so clips made. We are now up to 32.
There's just so many layers to that Ogre conversation. They all need to be clipped.
I just... Attack is going to fall very flat here for ByuN. He was hoping to catch Neeb off guard, but not Zoro. Not Zoro Neeb.
Nah, he's got that little sword
Oh,
thingy.
dude, what if this isn't even like... What if we're thinking the wrong Zoro? What if it's like the 3-sword Zoro from like One Piece, and this isn't even like the Antonio Banderas sexy Spaniard Zoro?
Neeb could be kind of a weeb and a Koreaboo, so it might just be...
Neeb weeb! Checks
Oh my
out
god!
right there!
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so
What
he
if-
deflects the front attack really well, but the main attack jumps off a Colossus. Like that.
That was a huge pickoff, actually, and more on that after. We get some Mothership Core too, sniping some sentries on his way out. Even if ByuN loses the medevac for this has actually been a very worthwhile attack, but he looks like he's going to save it and now meet up with the rest of his army.
Yeah. If that Colossus isn't dropped literally on, then that Colossus does so much to help against pure Marines from a dropship. Like, so much. But Neeb still holds. He just loses a Colossus when he really probably says I shouldn't have. And he's on 3 bases. He's been on 3 bases for a while and has another Colossus in production, almost done.
That being said, though, the pressure still is... It's hot. It's hurting. And ByuN doesn't seem like he's going to be stopped. I love the idea of the cannon, of course, but it's not helping in this situation.
No. I mean, it's a safe place for the probes to be pulled to. And the Colossus is going to be enough, again, with a mass Marine army. Well, not mass, but just pure Marine army, rather.
So,
Colossus
this is a really weird position. Neeb's still producing probes, by the way. He's already on 70 for 3 bases. Way too many probes. So for me, that says he wanted to expand, or he was just anticipating more losses. Either way, this puts him in a very strange position because his army supply is very low right now.
It's okay, I think, for a Colossus player. ByuN is piling on the pressure and expanding, so it's not like he's all in. He's not like super ahead on the supply, and he doesn't even have Vikings quite yet. So, that one drop that killed the Colossus, I don't think it's going to be replicated in the natural or the 3rd base choke, rather, but he's going to try. There's only a single force field. He wants more of a guardian shield. Oh, has to use it.
Well, that spread was pretty good, and now he stims in. Colossus backs away, but he walks into an Immortal. Maybe didn't realize this was an Immortal the entire time. That thing got a lot of damage done, but that being said, ByuN is relentless. He's going to get the Void Ray on top because he clears out most of the fodder for the Colossus. So even if there's going to be 3 or 4 Colossus, it won't matter as much if there's nothing to guard them.
And once again, getting top of the Colossus, almost takes it out. Oh, there we go, the last Marine shot.
ByuN.
Yeah, very close. Neeb was also very close to defending and still manages to do okay. Now down 14 army supply, but obviously ByuN is retreating entirely. So the pressure's off. Neeb can finally expand.
But you know what? While this went on and ByuN was doing all this like really sick micro on the front lines, he did get 2 starports down, right? With reactors too. So this Colossus maybe would have been a problem given enough time. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. There's going to be more than enough Vikings, and even if you were baited, straight up Jew-baited, and this was like a full-on Templar swap, and you weren't going to see more than 2 Colossus for the rest of the game, the Vikings can still land and actually be really effective.
Yeah. We haven't seen, bamboozle like that in quite some time, but it might be something that Neeb's thinking of, realizing, like, okay, I've lost too many Colossus to pure bio, and if he's making Vikings, then I'm in trouble. And there is another problem where Neeb doesn't really know what ByuN has been doing, and Oracle hasn't been flying around. The Observer never went across the map. He doesn't even know about the 3rd base, so I think at this point in time he's guessed it. But it's more like he doesn't know that the Vikings were produced Terrans just stay on bio and drop everywhere, and that's a very different way of playing.
By the way, he has started making immortals, which I love the choice for, but the Stalkers can't really hold up to the bio, so this is just an easy push in for ByuN. And Neeb, the fantastic player he is, he was up 1 in the series, but ByuN just ran away with this game. Don't ever let ByuN pick Acolyte TvP. I'm just saying, like, his build, this map, they coincide too well. They're too good. He's too good, and Neeb's looking to die right here.
Yeah. What a tough choice. Try and save the Colossus, or let them take at least a few pot shots. It's a lot of Marauders. They wouldn't really have done that much, even if they had stayed and fought. This is going to be a win for ByuN. Taking out Zaro. Who's the bad guy in the movie? I don't know.
Probably Anthony Hopkins, if I had to guess.
I was like, who is the bad guy in the movie?
Oh my god, Nexikuro says neat plus weeb equals Neeb. Oh my god. Alright guys, we're gonna go to commercial break. See you for game 3 when we get back. Alright, so I was ready for us to hop in a game, but then everybody left, so I'm not... Crank's back now.
He might have thought we weren't ready.
Oh, okay, well... small bit of a coolie announcement, guys. Corsair, I know this has nothing to do with the Olimoleague. Okay, be aware that this is because we, Zomgrub myself, are sponsored by Corsair. As of 11 minutes ago, debuted their brand new headsets, which are the now Corsair Voids, but Pro. So we were actually sent these headsets like a month ago to use and test and play with, and we weren't allowed to show them on stream or talk about them until they were debuted at Gamescom. These are actually so much better, in my opinion, for a couple of different reasons, but they took a lot of the feedback, and you guys have heard us talk about this a lot. The Corsair Void headsets are great. There's actually not a lot of complaints about them, except the microphone. The microphone is kind of butts. I feel like they improved the ear cups a little bit too on the Void Pros, but the biggest thing was, of course, the microphone. Now, to be perfectly clear, I love you, Corsair. Don't get me wrong. Sennheiser still has probably the best microphone for a headset as far as quality goes, but this is a huge step up from the current existing just non-pro version of the Voids. So I've got a video I'm waiting to post a little bit later where I took a sound comparison of like this microphone you're hearing now compared to the 2 headsets, and I think that the new Void Pro actually has a really good middle ground where it's definitely nothing close to professional microphone quality, but it's much better than the original Voids. I don't know if they have a price point or what the cost of it is or anything like that either, but I will just say that I fucking love the Voids as is. The Pros, all they've done is improved it. It's probably worth whatever dollar value they're going to assign to it. But
yeah,
anyways,
I'm pretty excited to open mine up.
yeah, it's just it's more of a cool announcement. We don't have like a sale or a code or anything like that, guys. It's just they've debuted it at Gamescom and we can finally talk about it, and I can finally wear mine. But game 3 for this match, spawning in the upper left, we have the blue Terran player ByuN.
In the bottom right, as the yellow Protoss, it is Neeb.
So someone's linking this clip here of Tempo wasn't black. And I remember you giving me some crap for this at Atlanta. But I also remember thinking to myself, like, why did I say that, right? It was such a silly thing. Like, it wasn't mean or malicious, and I'm not embarrassed by what I said, but I was like, why did I say that? And then I was going through some VODs the other day. First off, I realized Tempo betrayed me heavily. I tweeted about this for those who saw it. But also, while we were in Toronto with Tempo, I forgot that I was IRL streaming, and he had told some stranger that he used to be white in the green room. I'm like, I knew I wasn't clever enough to come up with this on my own. Like, I had pulled from like some memory that I didn't really remember about it.
Alrighty then. Clip explained.
I love Tempo.
Now let's make sure to remember when someone posts the Shrek clips years from now to remember what that was about.
There's not going to be context for that. They're going to be like, Rifkin, look, we're trying to interview for this job. We want you to take managerial position on this team, but turns out you're into ogre sex. Can you explain? I'm going to be like, no, thanks for the opportunity. Good interview. I'll see. Have a good life.
I feel like you're actually that meme with the, like, it's the new meme, right? With the guy sleeping next to his girlfriend, and she's like, I think he's thinking about other women, and you're just like, how did the dragon and the dog have sex?
How does it? Yeah.
me get on that Photoshop real quick. And then anyone with a really creative mind can Photoshop a dragon and a donkey. Create some babies.
So actually, on this note, super relevant, the person we hosted after stream yesterday, you guys may have stuck around to check out her stream or not, Nikki Taylor, one of her mods has bought her not one, but 2 dragon dildos.
Oh, I was really wondering
convinced
what's
her-
going.
I convinced her to try and play League with them, like to use them to press the buttons on the keyboard.
They're too large, right? It's like fat fingering everything.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that's not a statement I'm gonna say again with that context. Interesting.
2 words, Zombie. Just gotta let yourself go. You gotta put that fear away and just enjoy the dumb comments. Ride that train for the clips. Look, we're not on Twitch fails. That's why we're not more popular, and you could totally fix this. Just
Oh, well, you know, I did dance. I tried to. We all tried to dance K-pop. I'm surprised that didn't appear on Twitch.
I'm actually really glad that didn't. I was just going in the background staring at the camera like a creep. Out of context, that would have made me look really bad. But one of mine was dodged successfully for very, very long. Did finally take out that oracle though.
So the way you describe yourself reminds me of the picture of Idja dancing with the girl at the club. Have you seen that picture?
I don't know this one. No.
Alright, well, have you seen the picture of the white, like the really, really white guy who looks just like so surprised the girl is grinding on him? Like it's not a pro gamer or anything, it's just like a popular picture of a nerd. No, really?
No, I really honestly don't know what you're talking about, so.
Oh my god, I'm actually
Keep in mind, I wasn't here for like Idra and his memes, dude. I don't know
No, I'm
this.
talking about the other picture that's just like, it's not a pro gamer or anything, it's just a white dude who looks very surprised a girl is on him. That's what I'm gonna link to, because I'm surprised you don't know.
But maybe I've seen that one. I just don't know what you're describing. I don't know. I'm up.
Right.
I'm proud to say I'm a pretty good memester.
Okay, well.
In fact, I hold my memeing only second to that of my shit posting when it comes to quality.
That's good. Anyway.
All right, so this ends up getting cleaned up. I really thought the 3 Widow Mines would have been a lot more devastating. There's still one hiding over here and might catch a probe transfer, but ByuN is sticking it to the 2 bases for now. More barracks coming down and no 3rd CC. Still looking to commit. At the same time, though, he's going to have to hold off an attack out of Neeb. It's not a big one. I think with a bunker, he should be okay.
My Google foo is not good enough for this, actually. Chat, help me out.
Yeah. Maybe this meme never existed, dude. Maybe this is like the Berenstain Bears.
I'm pretty.
By the way, it looks like that Widow Mine got some pretty good kills. Not this one, but the one... Oh, not even over here. 7 workers died. I'm not sure what killed them. So we're watching the attack over here, and gets on top of the Stalker, stutters past to catch him. The bunker hits the Adepts too, and ByuN's gonna lose a couple of SCVs. Not much though.
No, not in comparison to what Neeb
Widow Mine on
lost.
the main.
Yeah. At an equal worker count, that's usually not great, but Neeb does have the 3rd base. He's going to try and recuperate really quickly. 18 probes total lost is nice for ByuN, very nice indeed. And now Neeb's real problem is his army supply.
Yeah, and there's something to be said, like if there's more upgrades to go with this, you're like, well, you know what, a couple of centuries of Guardian Shield, plus 1 armor, like easy peasy, but oh, probes. That was dangerously close. Okay. Scan over here would reveal the Observer, but he was looking for the Observer above the Widow Mine, so unfortunately doesn't quite have a scan for this.
This ends up being just enough Stalkers, especially the Guardian Shield, that no Photon Overcharge necessary. Very different army supply, but sort of, you know, a lot of that is ByuN still rallying, and I guess some of that's also in Metadax. Same armies.
Someone already went.
Or...
I'm just retweeting. Someone finally did a picture of Neeb as Zoro. Thank you to Cybot at Mr. BotMD on Twitter.
Good job.
This is great. I love it. This is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. But Neeb has to win this game if we want to see more Neeb memes. That being said, though, ByuN's looking to have most control over the game so far. Hopping into the main like this, he's going to dive on that one pylon. It's going to depower 3 gateways for the warp ins. Widowmine takes out the Oracle. Yes, it splashes some of the army, but without an Oracle to defend, there's nothing left but one Immortal, and that thing's already been softened up by the Widowmine, so the Marauders focus it down. Attack to the north simultaneously. GG's get called, and ByuN will take the series 2-1. Alright, I gotta get this thing up on screen. Even though he's dead, rest in pepperonis, Neeb. It's the pasty white kid Zorro meme.
What a beautiful Photoshop.
It's like they googled like mask.png and hat.png and just kind of like, could this be my new profile picture? I was gonna steal this. Also, okay, someone's saying that the Corsair Void Pro is gonna be $100 US, so I think that's about this. It's only a little bit more expensive, if not the same price as what the Voids were. I want to say the Voids were like 85 for some reason, but I don't think that's right. But anyways, the Void Pros as well. I can't speak on this confirm because I've actually been testing it by snapping my fingers on my ears. I think it's a little more soundproof too, in terms of like it's not like noise canceling headphones, but I think that they cup the sound a lot better. But anyways, we're gonna go commercials, guys. When we get into the other semifinals, it's Sue versus Gumiho. Sit tight. We'll see you soon. More dumb topics coming for sure.